Hey guys, what's going on? Salute and welcome to the Figure 4 TV. I'm here with my guy, Red Carpet Ring. Y'all also know him as Toxic Ring Scandals. Salute, my guy. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Salute to you, man. Salute to the Figure 4 TV, Figure 4 Leg Lock.
No doubt, man. And we here today because we gonna talk about the biggest party of the summer. We finna talk about the best, the top five greatest Summer Slams of all times. I know you have your favorites. I have my favorites. You want to explain to them why SummerSlam is such a great, unique event?
Well, that's easy. We all talk about WrestleMania, which is in the spring of the year, transitioning to that's sometimes at the end of fall or winter. I'm sorry, the end of winter and then beginning of spring, and it kicks off the whole season of spring and everything. But this is summertime. This is SummerSlam. This is the time where kids are out of school. This is the time we had the beach parties. You have the pool parties, and you need something good to watch. And you're gonna have something to watch while it's hot outside. This is SummerSlam. That's the whole thing. SummerSlam. It's kind of similar to what a old pay per view try to copy, which is WCW Bash at the Beach, but this is much better than that. It's a summer beach warm thing, and it's something that's really at the end of the summer, midsummer, nearly the tail end of the summer. And this is a great way to kick matches that are mostly SummerSlams are outside now. So it's just a good thing, man. It's a good thing.
Now, you mentioned something that was key, and I remember that coming up. And I've been a WWE fan, WWF fans for a long time, right? So I remember, and what makes SummerSlam so unique. But see, SummerSlam is my third on the big three. SummerSlam is third on the big three. I'm more of a
Oh,
Royal Rumble guy, but here's why. Royal Rumble is around my birthday. So
yeah.
it's significant because that's what we watch. I got a chance to order it for all or everybody in the house because that's one of my birthday gifts. Every year, I got one of my birthday gifts was to order the pay per view. And SummerSlam was significant because it was the first pay per view we get to watch and not have to go to school the next day, and we get to talk about this pay-per-view show with our friends in our neighborhood. We not gonna get a chance to talk about SummerSlam like how we talk about Mania, Survivor Series, or the Rumble because we be in school during those times, so we only get a chance to talk about the. You know what I mean? We more talk about the event with our with our school peers rather than our neighborhood peers. But that was a good point that you made. Gotta love SummerSlam, guys. What's one of the biggest moments you can remember from SummerSlam before we go on into this list?
What you say again? Repeat that question.
What's one of the biggest moments that you take from SummerSlam?
The biggest moments I remember Daniel Bryan, as you see, Daniel Bryan win the WWE Championship for the first time. I also remember at SummerSlam too, how it tied in with the Money in the Bank contract in the most recent years. The Money in the Bank contract played a major part at SummerSlam. If you guys really pay attention, I like that too. Another one of my favorite events now, Money in the Bank every July, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
I
that's the
really
part.
Yeah, I really adored that part. I already like SummerSlam, but I think when the Money Bank contract was cashed in at SummerSlam, or at least teased, I think it made it that much better.
And see, I like this SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title, guys. For some strange reason, SummerSlam is attached to the Intercontinental title, changing hands. It's like a change of guard. You normally see the Intercontinental champion at SummerSlam, then he go on to win the Rumble, and right then is when he end up becoming the world's heavyweight champion. And it been like that. You're gonna notice that pattern up until they even had the inaugural WWE Universal title, which brought in the new curse. That brought in a
Yeah,
whole new
true.
curse. which
True.
kicked
That's
off.
yeah. I didn't want to talk about that too much. Yeah, Universal title. I don't like that title at SummerSlam because they brought out some of the worst matches, in my opinion. But it's
Hmm.
still a part of history.
Definitely. So, with that said, let's segue right on into the show. Let's kickstart with number one, guys. And keep in mind, this is no particular order. We'll give you our number one at the end of the list. But we're going to start with 1988 SummerSlam, the inaugural SummerSlam event, guys. Keep in mind, this event took place in the world famous Madison Square Garden, August 29th, 1988. Attendance was 20,000, guys. Man, New York, we gotta get a bigger arena if we want to get these events, especially if we want a WrestleMania, especially if we want a WrestleMania, guys. So let's get a clip going, and we'll get right back, and we'll read off what took place at SummerSlam 1988.
To find out who in fact is the number one challenger now that Brutus the Barber Beefcake has been shelved temporarily.
No question about it, but it doesn't look like the honky.
Nobody sent any word up to us.
Nothing to us,
Superstar.
brother. The honky tonk man doesn't care.
His
man. He don't even want to know.
Here it comes. Who is his opponent? Come on, Howard. Howard doesn't even know.
Howard Finkel, the announcer, doesn't know. Come on, brother. Let's get
He
it
shook
together.
his head.
Get me somebody out here to wrestle. I don't care who it is.
Honky Tonk
Don't
says
say
he
that,
don't care.
Don't say that, my man. There's some people back there in the locker rooms who would take this man apart.
We're all waiting here with anticipation as to who the opponent will be. Well, maybe we haven't got an opponent.
Well, maybe we have an opponent, but maybe he's still lacing up his boots. Who knows, man?
Wait a minute. Somebody's music.
That's familiar music, brother.
They've exploded here in the garden. I don't see anybody yet.
Here is the challenger, playing two.
It's the Ultimate Warrior.
One man. Oh, look at him attack.
Man, that was one of the most important matches in SummerSlam history, guys. And guys, we did a video on this particular SummerSlam, so I ain't gonna say too much on it, but do go back and catch that video. This match was riddled in politics. Honky Tonk Man should have been dropped that title, but he had to drop it tonight. And that forced Brutus the Barber Beefcake to change his whole career to Justery, because Brutus the Barber Beefcake was supposed to take a run with this Intercontinental Championship. $1 Million Man also, he fell victim because he didn't never have that world's title, so it just was crazy. But KDH, any thoughts? Did you watch this SummerSlam? When did you watch this SummerSlam, and what you thought of this SummerSlam 1988?
I just recently watched it covering on Rumble. Check the link out. It's on the Red Carpet Ring. We did a review on this. It was my first time watching the whole event. And what I thought about it was so much politicking back then. And I always wondered, why did Honky Tonk Man hold on to the belt that long? And then also, I noticed another part of SummerSlam. Hogan was a part of the first SummerSlam and the first WrestleMania. That's crazy. He was part of first of everything. I understand how important he was to wrestling history. And nothing about SummerSlam. I mean, just the theme itself. Who wouldn't want to watch something like this being a theme? But also, other than that, though, I thought SummerSlam was very good. It was a lot of combined matches. If you think about, look back at the card of SummerSlam back in '88, you had your tag team match, the opening show, the Bulldogs versus the Fabulous Rogos, if I said that correctly. Then
The
you had a couple singles
Rougeaus.
matches. Regos, yep. You had a couple singles matches, then another tag team match. Then you had the IC match you just shown, and another tag team match. And then you had singles. It was a good mix of tag and singles. And this was all crazy. There was no 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 WWE Championship match, and it was still a very top notch
Ooh.
show. No WWE Championship,
Ooh, that's a key takeaway
yeah,
there. That's a key note.
and it showed me with WWE. You don't have to book a good show and always put the world title on at the main event or the women's title now because women's wrestling's big, but you don't have to do that. You can still book a good show without the world title. And this event proved it. The inaugural one of if anything.
Man, KD, Toxic Ring, Turnbuckle King. I gotta give you one of these for that, man.
He knows his opponent is completely helpless to resist the submission hold. He's in full-on attack mode now. There's watch.
And now that you say that, it makes a whole lot of sense. That's why the Intercontinental title is so emphasized on these SummerSlams because you're right. They don't have to emphasize the World's title. And
Mm-mm.
typically the Intercontinental Championship match be the match of the night.
Well, it's a recent interview. If you guys know about it, Triple H said recently. This was like literally a month ago. He said that WWE is a movie about a sport. He said it's not sports entertainment. He says not pro wrestling. He said WWE is cinema, not a sport, just cinema. And ever since he said that a month ago, I've been looking at all the shows, WWE Raw, Monday Night Raw, NXT, or SmackDown or PLE. Look at it as cinema, not a sport or sports entertainment or even wrestling for that matter. It's cinema. And when he said that, that's exactly what it is.
Man, you on fire tonight. Let's get to this card real quick and we'll review the card in its entirety with some pictures. Of course, guys, y'all see there, that was Bad News Brown. He defeated Kent Patera, followed up, sorry, getting ahead of ourselves, followed by Ravishing Rick Rude, who defeated the Junkyard Dog. Also, guys, he defeated the Junkyard Dog. Ravishing Rick Rude defeated the Junkyard Dog by disqualification due to outside interference from from Jake the Snake Roberts. They were feuding in a feud because Rick Rude, he was being disrespectful. They was pushing the envelope. This is like that first SummerSlam was that first Attitude Era show without us even really knowing because Rick Rude, he donned a pair of tights with Jake the Snake's Roberts' white face on them, and that's what caused the run-in right here. And Jake the Snake wasn't having it. Of course, we just went over the honky talk man. He didn't have an opponent because they wrote Brutus the Barber Beefcake off TV to get him out of the way so that Warrior could take the title off of Honky Talk Man instead of Honky Talk Man feuding with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So they had Ron Bass on a TV taping show take out Honky Talk Man with his spur, and that was that for Brutus the Barber Beefcake with his spur, and that was that for Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So can you imagine, right? Brutus the Barber Beefcake possibly wouldn't have got into that car accident had he won the Intercontinental title, because you have to move it different. You got to move a little different when you're the champion. Can you imagine how his career would have turned out if the order would have stayed the natural order? He was supposed to win. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, that is. KD,
This is crazy. I'm just listening. Yeah, yeah, I just see how, like you said earlier, how this SummerSlam shifted a lot of people's runs. Like you mentioned Brutus could have won the belt, and then he got in a car accident. Man, that is wild. Yeah,
yep, yep.
that's just well, Honky Tonk. Since he did that, I noticed his career never went nowhere else after he lost the Intercontinental belt. He didn't do nothing else significant after that. Nothing.
Nope. 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 And we can go into how Honky Talk Man, the character was created. Honky Talk Man was sitting in the back in catering, and Hulk Hogan pitched that Honky Tonk Man take the title off of Tito Santana. You know what I mean? Who had to go somewhere. He had to go away for a little minute. And that's how Honky Tonk Man came about. It was just a rib. He was just gonna hold the title and transition it on over. But
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
crazy.
just yeah, it was because yeah, Honky Tonk Man, he didn't. That's all he had was if you look at his career, that's all he had was the Intercontinental title run, and he doesn't even have that anymore. Honestly, since Gunther has recently broke the record, he broke that record. He don't
Yeah.
have that to his name anymore.
Honky Tonk Man was gifted the record because he didn't do Vince dirty when he had a chance to do Vince dirty. He had a chance to take that Intercontinental title to Jim Jack was what is his name? Jim Crockett? Yeah, Jim Crockett
Jim
Promotions.
Crockett. Yep.
And Honky Tonk Man told, he said, listen, I got an offer. And Vince made it right. But let's
Yeah.
keep it moving. Lucky
Okay.
Honky Tonk Man. But
Lucky
y'all
man.
know this is one of the quickest Intercontinental title matches in the history of Intercontinental title matches. Ultimate Warrior whipped them up real quick, whipped them up into shape, something real proper. Down to the finish, Honky Tonk Man staged the whole match. Honky Tonk Man created and choreographed this whole entire match for the Warrior. And he was so worried about the Warrior hurting him that Honky Tonk Man did not allow Warrior to execute this splash while he was on his back. Honky Tonk Man was like, no, he didn't trust the Warrior to do it on his back. So if you pay attention, Honky Tonk Man is one of the only people that ever roll over and just take the splash from the front. You know what I mean? Of course, we had a title change. We had the tag team titles. They changed hands as Axe and Smash Demolition defeated the Hart Foundation. Also, we had the dawning and the christening, the rollout of the big boss man. And y'all see his manager Slick right there. So, boss man, as he defeated Coco Beware, and Jake the Snake had his own match that night. He wrapped up Hercules. Andre the Giant came out, thought he was doing something, and he pulled that snake out, scared him off, because this was the ending of the Heenan family. The Heenan family was just about wrapping up and it was dissolving. Andre was getting a little bit old. He was taking on the manager role. And you'll see 2 years later, Andre was like, he was really out of commission, had two canes, and we'll get to that. Now we get to the main event, guys. We get to the main event. The Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage defeats the Mega Bucks, Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase. And the special guest referee, keep that in mind. This is not the first time Jesse the Body Ventura going to be the special guest referee, but we're getting ahead of ourselves again. Jesse the Body Ventura. So we already knew. We just knew going into this match, guys. For those of you that didn't know, we knew going into this match that Jesse the Body Ventura was probably going to get paid off by the $1 Million Man. The $1 Million Man was paying off everything. He tried to buy the world's title. He bought himself a good number, a good spot in the tournament. He just will buy anything. He thought that everybody has a price. So we just knew Jesse has the price. And as you can see, Elizabeth jumped up there and she stripped that skirt off. And Katie, how much negotiating did you think they had to do with the Macho Man to get this ending to be the way it was?
Oh, they did a lot of negotiation there. You gotta pay me good there. I would
I could
say
only imagine. Oh, if I
they
was a
gave.
fly on the wall.
I would say Macho Man. Let's just say he got a very hefty paycheck, if not the highest paycheck on the whole roster, even more than Hulk Hogan, to do that because
Yeah. He was the champion at the time too.
he was
Keep in
the
mind,
champion.
guys.
Yeah, yeah, they did that because I know Macho would never originally went for this. They probably had to beg that man to do it, and he did it.
Right. They had to drug the Macho Man. But what was funny about this match, guys, is storytelling at its greatest. You see how Liz threw the dress on $1 Million Man, like taking it off wasn't good enough. Throwing it on him, putting it on him. That did it. And then Macho capitalized on the distraction and they wrapped him up. Whoop, whap, boom. Jesse fronted like if he ain't want to make the 3 count. Hogan stood over him like, bro, if you don't put that 3 on, and Jesse went on and put the 3 on. He went on and put the 3 on,
Yeah,
bro.
he began a slow 3 count. Slow 3 count.
Yeah. And
Yep.
guys, let's go back to the booking, long-term booking. And it's always been this way with the E. They have long-term booking, meaning Macho Man, they planted seeds for the breakup. They wasn't even fully. They just started becoming a team. This is what made them the Mega Powers right here. This is what put them together as the Mega Powers. But in them becoming a team, they also planted seeds for the breakup because this is where Hulk Hogan go take it upon himself to lift Miss Elizabeth up in just that little the bottom there. You know what I mean? Small Cheeks was winning at this time, but he lifted her up, put her on his shoulder, and the Macho Man for like a hot 67 seconds glitched out, and they reconciled, and it was all right. So we thought, you know what I mean? But this was a great show. And being that it was the first one, man, this is gonna be hard to beat this one, KD. What you think before we wrap this one on up?
You're right. I mean, you're right on the money. I mean, they told a great story with Macho and Hulk, and they always do that with WWE. They either become rivals first, then tag team partners, or tag team partners, then rivals. So if they never were rivals and they were tag team partners, kind of similar to Jay Cargill and Bianca Belair, they're going to start. They're going to eventually become rivals, and Elizabeth was a very key factor in that. So definitely, this was a great storytelling. I love how they told the story, and it was nothing else more to be said. I mean, it's a SummerSlam.
Absolutely. And token note, side note, guys, this also started the feud between the Quebecers, the Mountie, and his brother, and the Dynamite Kid and the British Bulldog. Their feud started here in the back locker rooms while they was wrestling. Mr. Perfect, you know what I mean? He cut up the boys' gear, and because the Rougeau brothers came out first, and the Dynamite Kid came out after them, they thought that the Dynamite Kid did it while they was going out to the ring, not knowing it was Mr. Perfect the whole time. Started a whole feud. Mountie ended up knocking Dynamite teeth out his mouth, and Dynamite never been the same. He went into depression. They fired them, and the rest was down here for the Dynamite Kid, guys. But we gonna move it on. We gonna get to the next one. Keep in mind, there's no order, no particular order. But let's get to the next one in order of year. If anything, we're gonna go in the order of the year.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, I can't wait to see this one.
I think it's fair to say that the athleticism on display in this match will be unlike anything we've seen in quite some time.
Oh boy, we're in for a treat tonight. Both of these superstars look geared up and ready to go. Hey, it's Halloween, Cole. The only day of the year that you can go out and look normal.
Man, now we get to the butter, y'all. SummerSlam 1991. Match made in heaven and match made in hell. I never forget this one right here. This is one of my favorites right here, guys. Yes, it is. The double main event. KDH, holla at me. When did you see this one and how did you think? What you think about this show?
Um, I saw this maybe over a year ago, and this SummerSlam, I thought '88 was good. This one is right up there with the '88. It's up there. I mean, it has so many good of good moments with the wedding. Then you got the match made in hell, and then you had the great Intercontinental Championship match that's underrated. I mean, what more can be said with this? And then you had the commentators of Heenan and Monsoon. What more can be said, man? I mean, great. Even Virgil and Teddy DiBiase had a great story. It's just
Man,
amazing. It's amazing. SummerSlam.
man. Now, this SummerSlam right here is the perfect example of what I just was telling y'all about that IC title, man. For some reason, the IC title have the best matches at SummerSlam, man. Remember, the very next year, Brett and British Bulldog turn out for the IC title. It's something with the IC title and SummerSlam. But again, this was dope. This was a very good SummerSlam overall. Let's check out the card, guys. Let's look at how the card shaped out. Again, don't think I'm being biased because we went back to New York, back to the Mecca, Madison Square Garden for this one. August 26, 1991, 20,000. The main event, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter and General Adnan and Colonel Mustafa. Guys, and this was a good one. This was a good one. Of course, you guys, we just went over the Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect match. You know what I mean? Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect put over Bret Hart in that one. And Mr. Perfect went on to take care of his back. Mind you guys, keep note, Mr. Perfect fought this match with a bad disc in his back. You know that joint that Shawn Michaels had that put Shawn Michaels out? That was the same thing that had Mr. Perfect went through his whole match, made Bret Hart look super good with that injury, guys. Keep that in mind. A lot of people don't give Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennings his real credit and his real due. But while he was in the back ribbing people, he also was putting on in that ring. Let's look at the card. So SummerSlam kicked off with the British Bulldogs and Ricky Steamboat and the Texas Tornado defeated Powers and Glory. That's Hercules, Paul Roma, and the Warlord. And let me tell you something. Texas Tornado might have botched his turn in line because it was supposed to be the Texas Tornado turn. The year prior, the year before this, Texas Tornado took the strap off of Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam 90. You know what I mean? So somewhere down the line, Texas Tornado botched his run because for him to go from winning the IC title in 1990 to being put and placed in a 3-on-3 tag team match the next year, what you think about that, KD?
That's just crazy. I know since SummerSlam, man, people did. It's a lot of people that went business for themselves, man. I see that. And Texas Tornado was no different, man. No different. Why would
Mhm.
he do that? Who knows? Everybody want to go business for themselves, bro. Because they won a 6-man tag between himself, British Bulldog against Warlow, Power, and Glory, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. But who know who would have known that they were not supposed to do that? Who would have known that? You know?
Right, right. So now that leads us to Bret Hart defeating Mr. Perfect in that title match right there. Great match, y'all. This is a lot of people talk about Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat for the IC title at WrestleMania. That might be the best WrestleMania IC title match, but that is not the best IC title match in history of IC title matches. This is, guys. If you want to learn how to become a technical wrestler, you're gonna watch this match. You're gonna study this match, guys. I'm not even gonna cap to you. This is better than that Savage and Steamboat match,
I agree. I definitely agree with that. It is. It is. It really is.
and that's not
Because
taking anything away from that match.
mm-mm. And you gotta remember too, that match, no disrespect to Macho and Steamboat, that had more star power. That was Macho Man. Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect compared to Macho, not so much star power. That's why they got the recognition they did. I'm just saying. It's crazy. Number star power in that match. But there's no star power here. You got Bret Hart, you got a part of Hart Foundation, you got Mr. Perfect. It was nowhere near popular like Randy Savage was. Nowhere
Hmm.
near that on that popularity level. Nowhere near. And and because they weren't popular like that, that's why this match will get talked about. And then
Hmm.
two, Mr. Perfect doesn't have the best reputation.
Mm.
Savage did. Savage did got bad sour at the end. Mr. Perfect whole WWE run, not so much a good reputation. It's sour. Even when he returned in late '02 before he passed, and the play ride from hell was another story. Not the best reputation. So they're not going to mention this match. Of course, Bret Hart, we already know the deal with him. I'm not getting to that. Not the best reputation either. It's better now, much better. But at the time, not so good. So they're not going to mention this match, and that's how WWE does. They don't have a good reputation. They don't like you at that time. They really not going to mention anything you did prior, even if it was 5-star match.
Definitely, this is a 6-star match. And with that said, this match was followed by the natural disasters. That's Earthquake and Typhoon, guys. They defeated the Bushwhackers, brother Butch and Luke. And in the Bushwhackers corners, guys, they had a. Remember, I told you Andre the Giant was. They had an ailing Andre the Giant. Like, this was one of the last appearances we've seen Andre the Giant. This was one of the last shows, SummerSlam. 91, one of the last times we saw Andre the Giant in a wrestling capacity. You can see he got two sticks there.
Yeah,
No laughing matter, but it was over for the Giant at this point.
it was. It was.
Hmm.
Giant was. It's over for you, bro. It's over for you.
Facts. In that match, ooh, now we get into the butter. Virgil defeats Ted DiBiase to win the $1 million title. Keep in mind, guys, that was the championship that WWE gifted the $1 million Man because of the whole honky tonk man, shebang bang boom, and having to put the title on Macho Man. So $1 million Man ended up getting jerked. So they gave him his own title, and Virgil won it that night. Virgil won it, and that was a hell of a story. That story, the long term writing of that story, you is everybody in the garden, everybody in New York was behind this man Virgil, bro. That was one of those great. That was one of them great, well told stories. One of them. It's equated. It's equal to the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Wrestling's fallout, right? It's one of those type. Man, Hollywood can't write a better story. What do you think about this story, feud, and match?
I thought it was a great story. Um, I thought it was not only just a great story, it showed that hey, this was a guy who got tired of being jerked around. He stood up for himself and he beat the guy that was jerking him around, treat him like crap, and he takes his title. Can't be a better story than that.
Facts. Overcoming your oppressor story. Everybody is gonna eat that up. You're gonna eat that one up in New York City at that. The black man won in New York.
Oh my God.
Only in New York. Only in
Only
New York.
only in New York.
And
But
now, wow, this was one of this could have been match of the night, guys. I'm not holding you. If Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect didn't tear down the house, this would have been the match of the night. And now this was the Big Boss Man defeating the Mountie. Mind you, the Mountie, he had already he reinvented himself. His brother got hurt and he didn't come back very good. So he ended up becoming a Mountie. He ended up having his own character, making his own solo run and being very successful. But guys, did you know behind the stage politics on this? Vince McMahon wrote this match the way he wrote it to write the Mountie's character off television because Vince was getting faced with a cease and desist letter from the Mounties in Canada. The real Mounties in Canada was telling Vince that he was sullying their image and he was giving them a bad name and he was slandering them. Like, so they really had Vince by the neck, and Vince had to pull a plug on the Mountie. So he had 3 months to get to fix that, to use the Mountie, and he ended it with the Boss Man and Mountie ended up having to go to jail. And that's how they wrote the Mountie off television, y'all. But that was one of another great story. The Mountie versus the cop. You can't beat that. KD?
yeah, I'm listening. Yeah. This was a great way to write him off. But thing about Vince back then, you could tell with all this stuff going on backstage. This was still pretty much a new. This was overwhelming for Vince, bro. It was a lot of new stuff. He had WrestleMania. He was started doing. Then he started a new event. He had all this stuff going on. So it's definitely new. And yeah, this is a great way to write off the Mountie. It wouldn't be done no other way. So definitely a good way for that to happen. And also with Big Boss Man, this made him look good too. This when Big Boss Man really got noticed a little bit more. He was really starting to get some notice. You know, I prefer the Attitude Era Boss Man. That's me though. Yeah. So other than that, this was a great event. Good, Bray, you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm listening, man. I'm just, man. It's always an
No,
honor to have you here with us. Salute to those of you watching at the Red Carpet Ring, Toxic Ring Scandals. You know what I mean? Salute to you guys for just accepting us here at the Figure Four TV and letting us borrow y'all tribal chief.
yeah. Yeah. Mountie, he was something else, man. So Vince
He
had to do what he
was.
had to do. Yeah, Vince had to do what he had to do. But as much as great as SummerSlam, I'm gonna start calling this Politics Slam. So many politics backstage, so much backstage stuff, man. You know, if they, if they only could, I wish they could have back then. If they have the footage, I would love to see a real backstage behind the scene of this whole particular pay per view. It would have been crazy. But I know they don't have no footage of that. And if they did, they erased that already. That's erased.
That's gone.
Oh,
But you
Uh,
know what was crazy about this? WWE started to take the cameras outside of the ring and outside. They actually followed the Mountie's journey through the central bookings, you know what I mean? Downtown 100 Center Street. He was really downtown 100 Center Street. For those of my New Yorkers, you know what I'm talking about. And they followed them, yo. Then and like throughout the whole pay per view, I think this was what number was this? This was match number five, and then they still had three
this was
more, four more
number.
matches to go. So
This
they
was number
followed
six.
them.
Number six. Yeah,
Yeah.
number
So
six. So they had three more. Yeah, number
yeah, and
six.
every other segment they went back to him in the jail, and then of course they had the guy that the pervert, the pervert that wanted to get him, and that it was just funny. This was great TV during a pay per view. Like that was the first time I ever seen like during a live pay per view where they cut from the ring action to an actual outside Wow, it was mind blowing, guys. Great feud, great ending, great setting, great booking, great SummerSlam. Guys,
And also too,
that
this SummerSlam, people don't know, it was held on a Monday, not a Sunday. That was interesting too. A Monday. This was not on a Sunday.
facts. Guys, that match was followed by the WWF Tag Team Championship Street Fight. This is where the Legion of Doom, now this is more politics, guys, more politics. The Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, they defeated the Nasty Boys to finally win the WWE Tag Team titles, guys. Finally, because there was some politics and Vince wasn't trusting to put the title on them. Vince wasn't paying them enough to put the title on them. And we're going to dig into that another day. I'm going to leave that for another day. If that was followed by Irwin R. Shyster, that is Bray Wyatt dad. Salute and rest in peace to the brother Bray Wyatt. His dad fought
R.I.P.
Greg. His dad defeated Greg the Hammer Valentine, and that'll bring us to our main event, guys. And this picture that's on your screen it's significant because Warrior ain't stopped running to this day.
Yeah, Warrior.
You want
Warrior,
to break
man.
that thing down to us, man?
Yeah, I would like to. It was controversy written around this man's name. Now they said that it was an incident. They said the month prior that Warrior wrote a letter to McMahon threatening to no-show the main event to a event tag team match unless he was paid $550,000 that he claimed that was owed to him for his match at WrestleMania 7. And it said that Hulk Hogan and Slaughter later revealed later on, I think it was in '05 later on, they said it was dealing with the matter of physicality for Vince, the matter physically for Vince McMahon's possibility when they became aware of Warrior's threat. What I mean by that, Hogan and Slaughter wanted to give Warrior that work after they found out what he was doing. They wanted to beat him up. But Vince McMahon told Hogan and Slaughter, do not do nothing. Don't touch Warrior. Don't get an altercation. Let me pay him for his money, and then I'm going to fire him. That's how much heat this man had. Hogan and Slaughter want to not beat this dude up, and he got fired after SummerSlam. He did get paid because Warrior's not contracted, so
Okay.
he got paid. They said, "I'll pay him because he needed him for the main event. He's an attraction. He was he was a world, well, not at the time, but he was a former world champion, big name.
Makes
And
sense.
Warrior, and he summoned Fire Warrior. You're done." And then Warrior responded on his website that the allegation saying he was owed money for the WrestleMania 7, and he was suspended by McMahon immediately after the show, but he quit WWF out of protest. He quit. So it was just crazy. It was crazy, man. He really politics his way through the whole match, and then you upset the people in the match with you. So
Incredible. That's crazy. And now that was the match made in hell, followed by the match made in heaven. And the main event of the show. This is how they rewrote Macho Man back in. Once they learned that they were losing the Warrior, right? They had to start to find a way to rewrite the Macho Man back in. Because remember, guys, prior to this, in WrestleMania, he lost to the Ultimate Warrior in the career-ending match. So, you know what I mean? They wrote him off TV, but to bring him back in TV, they have him and Elizabeth. Because remember, Macho King was a whole different character. The Macho King, after the Mega Powers broke up, he went to the dark side. You know what I mean? He got rid of Elizabeth. He got linked up with Sensational Sherry, and he became the Macho King. And when the Warrior retired him, guess who came to his rescue? Queen Elizabeth. So they played off of that whole storyline right there. Remember, guys, if you go back, WrestleMania 7, after Warrior beat him, Sherry started slapping on Macho Man, and out came from the audience Miss Elizabeth, gave Sherry that work and rescued the Macho Man, and they ran with that story. So this was, man, one thing I noticed about SummerSlam, and it being that it's the biggest party of the summer, they always send you home with a smile. They always send you home with a smile. And if you notice, a lot of the main events have been tag matches where you get to see two of your stars team up and take on the supervillains. So we just saw Macho and Hogan team up in that first one. Then we seen Hogan and Ultimate Warrior team up in this one. So you gotta watch the booking. It'd be fun. SummerSlam is just fun. And I hope they don't stop the fun. Anything you want to say before we go on to the next?
Yeah, it was just interesting. How could Macho Man and Elizabeth do this wedding storyline, and in real life they got divorced a year later? That means they was going through real life marital issues. How could you get yourselves together, going through real life issues, saying we're going to play like we're married, but in real life we are on the verge of getting a divorce? Because this was at 91, the wedding, but the divorce was finalized at 92. They might have been separated at this point. I'm saying how it's hard to two people. I know it's business and all to get yourself together and play this married couple on TV, but you're really about to get a divorce if not separate already. I'm just saying, and you wouldn't even notice that watching it. I'm just saying because they was married from 84 to 92. People don't know. I'm just saying that's a great story because I'm like they got divorced in real life a year later. Well, great. I
And
guess they put the personal issues aside. A lot of marital people cannot do that. They're like, nah, it's probably best we don't do that.
yes, see, and emotions, people be running off of how they feel. Them temporary feelings be having people make long-term decisions, and that be where they mess up. And some people think having a baby fix a messed up situation. Some people even think getting married fixed a messed up situation. Some people just need to not be together. They just need to be friends, just need to chill and separate.
Mhm.
But we having a good old time. I hope everybody's having a good old time. Please hit the like button, and at some point in time, guys, hit the links that's floating around in the chat, in the live chat, so that you can subscribe to all of the channels if you like wrestling content. Guys, let's
No,
move it on. Let's get to the next one, guys.
It doesn't get any bigger than this. The Heartbreak Kid.
The following contest is a no-holds-barred match. Making his way to the ring from San Antonio, Texas, weighing in at 227 pounds, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
The showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels has earned every single moniker bestowed upon him in his career. Gentlemen, Hulkamania is about to run wild.
There is only one, the Immortal.
And his opponent from Venice Beach, California, weighing in at 302 pounds, Hulk Hogan.
So between WCW and WWE, Hogan has had double-digit world title reigns.
Not to mention he's a two-time WWE Hall of Famer and the biggest name in the business in the 80s and 90s.
Man, now see, I just recently watched this match myself. You put me on to this match. I did not.
Mhm.
I lost touch of watching wrestling from 2002 till I want to say 2009. The end of 2009 ish. I was in a whole different transition of my life. I was raising my daughter, and I was distracted from my true passion. You know what I mean? I almost let them take me from my joy, steal my joy. So KD, take us through this time and era, 2005, and the wrestling climate and what was going on here.
Okay. Well, this is 17 years later after the last SummerSlam we mentioned. So a lot of things have changed. Well, it's not WWF no more. It's now WWE. Still pay per view, and this is this point, as you guys know now today, this was the part of the first brand split. There are two separate shows, but at events like SummerSlam, they were dual branded. They all jointly come together. And also a fun fact here, we highlighted the 1991 SummerSlam. That was the last SummerSlam Hogan was in until this SummerSlam here. So this is
Wow.
17 years later. He arrived. It's a coincidence. We just covered the SummerSlam. He was just in the main event. He would not appear in no more SummerSlams until this event here. So this was definitely a homecoming for SummerSlam wise for Hulk Hogan. But now he's not that Hulk Hogan no more. He's still red and yellow, but he's a lot older, and now he's going against another star, which is, legend versus icon. That's the whole marketing brand. Main event: Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan. Shawn Michaels and Hogan were tag team partners. They Hogan. Shawn Michaels looked up to Hogan, idolized. They had a tag team match against Carlito and another person, and Shawn Michaels mocked him. They not mock him, but emulated him. Did the whole muscle thing, pumping the muscles, flexing, and then he sweet chin Hogan and looked down on him. And this was Shawn Michaels' first heel turn since he returned to WWE back in 2002. First time he ever did a heelish move. And
Ooh, okay.
yeah, so this really beefed it up. And Hulk Hogan cut a promo saying, "Shawn, if you want to match me, you didn't have to super kick me, because just ask." And Shawn Michaels, being an arrogant heel, he mocked Hogan in interviews with CNN with Larry King, with a Larry Keenish style. He dressed like Hogan, mocked him. It was very funny. It was just a funny feud. But rumor has it that they were supposed to have a 3 series match. Hogan will win, I think, all of them, if not 2 of them. And Shawn Michaels was like, I'm not doing all that. Hogan, you're not getting over all these matches. So that's why the whole infamous overselling, which is hilarious. Like I said, the whole feud was hilarious. Even the match,
It
the
was. It
humping
sure
over,
was.
jumping over. And if you look at the footage, Hogan looked pissed. He said, "Stop it, Shawn." And Shawn said, "Shut up." That was funny. So there was real heat between these two. And this is a case of Hogan's politicking going way too far. Because we gotta remember at two, like I said, it's not the same Hogan. Hogan at this point was 51, early 50s, and Shawn Michaels still pretty much in his good prime. So you ain't Shawn Michaels like, dude, you're not even that Hulk Hogan no more. And you still politicking? No. And I don't blame Shawn for that. So it's just Hogan didn't want to let go of the torch, as they call it. But it was a very good, funny match. Now, did we get a rematch or any other type match we two? Thank goodness we didn't get that. But it headlined the SummerSlam, and also we know for other great moments at SummerSlam. But this particular main event was funny. It was a great event, very great event. This was at Washington D.C. We know that it was attendance of 18,000, and the tagline Hogan versus Michael for the first time ever. And this was a Raw thing. Shawn Michaels was always on Raw. Like I said, branded. But it was just funny though. SummerSlam funny. There was a lot of a lot of good moments on this card here. A lot of good ones. So
No
oh 05
doubt.
was actually, oh 05 was actually a good match, a good year for Shawn Michaels because this is the same year he had the WrestleMania match against Kurt Angle and other stuff. So he has had a very good year. But I'm gonna go down. We can talk about other matches on the card.
I bet. So show kicked off with Chris Masters defeating Hurricane. Then we went into Chris Benoit defeating Orlando Jordan to win the United States title, guys. Orlando Jordan was underrated.
Yeah, I liked Orlando Jordan. He was part of Cabinet with JBL on SmackDown. Yep.
Okay. And we know Chris Benoit was on his way up.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on his way to win another world title until his demise.
hmm Then that was followed by what you see on the board there, Edge defeating Matt Hardy via KO.
Well,
Now,
that
this
looks like
this
Guerrero and Ray match. That right there
oh,
on the screen.
sorry, sorry,
That's the
sorry,
custom
sorry,
match.
guys.
No, it's all right. Just want to say it's not the match. I never knew
Sorry,
Edge
sorry.
and Matt Hardy be that short. Nah, it's
Oh,
all
see,
good.
I don't got a picture. I don't got a picture of that thing. But this is
I can,
this is Ray. This is Ray and Eddie. This is
yep, yep.
Ray and Eddie. So yeah, I don't got a picture of Matt and Ed and Edge, but I know there is some backstage politics that you can put and fill us in on with this match right here. I know the story might be long, but can you give us a quick skim through of what's going on here? Because like I said, SummerSlam riddled with the fiddle is riddled with the bull.
Well, okay. Well, we know that Edge and Matt Hardy were friends, close friends for a long time. They always had a rival tag team. Hardy Boys with Matt Hardy, him and his brother Jeff versus Edge and Christian. Edge, him and his boy Christian. So they always had, and then we know Lita was the girlfriend of Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy, I think Lita went down with a injury. It was an injury, and Lita was riding along with Edge, and they got close, and then they ended up having an affair. And Matt found out about it, and he, dumped Lita. What happened with Matt Hardy? He took the real life affair, he broadcasted it on Bite This. Um, and when he did that, and WWE management found out what happened, he was released due to that. He was released because he put it out there. But
Okay.
here's the thing: this is pre-social media. If anything, it was the beginning. We were still in Black Planet or beginning of Facebook days. Anyway, I guess the fans saw how Matt was being done, all the backlash they gave Lita and Edge. Vince McMahon, he loves to turn real life situations to a storyline. He saw that, and they petitioned for Matt to come back. They said, let's bring him back and let's start a storyline. And there's this we hear he let, remember on an episode of Raw, he let Matt cut a promo. And I know one part of one match, I think it was on Raw, it was like a real fight between Matt and Jeff. Matt and Edge. If you look, what they had to be separated for real. It looked like wasn't because if you to tell in a promo, Matt was even call him Edge. He was calling by what they call him now AEW. His real name Adam. That's how he knew it was real. I'm like, whoa, called him Adam. So it was a real fight. You know, but anyway, it led to a match at SummerSlam, and it wasn't a long match. It was about 4 minutes, maybe 4.5 minutes, and it was just Edge defeated Matt Hardy by technical knockout. Was not long at all,
That
but
shocked the mess out of me when I
uh,
got to watching this, following the feud, understanding what happened, and tracking it down to
mhm.
this match, and like, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because his Hardy's head had hit the ring post and he was bleeding, and Matt Hardy wasn't capable of defending himself, and the referee just stopped the match, and Edge won. Many fans were very disappointed, as well as me, because it was such a highly anticipated match by the fans because they knew what was going on, and to end in 4.5 minutes, like it's a bummer. It's a
Right. You
bummer.
wanted to see Edge get his ass. I wanted to see Edge get his ass whipped.
Yeah,
You
it
stole
was
that man girl.
yeah, Mr. Steal Your Girl. So um, it was crazy though, and Edge, he just wow all over the place. But definitely, that was the whole story between Edge and Matt Hardy, and they had more matches, but this was on that this match was very short. That's why I was mentioning we talked about. It was only 4.5 minutes,
Mm,
a little under 5 minutes. So it was you would thought it was a squash match, but it was a technical knockout match.
Yikes. So now I was getting ahead of myself. We got this, which was the ladder match. Winner gets custody of Dominique. This was Rey Mysterio defeating Eddie Guerrero. Now I know a lot of us was joking about. We think that this SummerSlam should have been a ladder match as well, and it should have been for the custody of Dominique as well. What do you think?
This was a good story because we had never seen a match like this before, where they were saying Eddie may be the dad and all that stuff and all of that. But what's funny, this match had a real life shoot as well. If you remember, Eddie Guerrero was at the top of the ladder. Vicky missed her cue to come out there. Eddie was going off.
Ooh,
Yup.
good call.
People
Yes.
forgot about it. He said, "Hey, Vicky," he
Eddie
was
was
screaming.
mad.
Eddie
Eddie was
was
mad,
hot
but he impromped it. Yeah, he did improp to it, but he was hot.
because Vicky, remember, she stopped him from getting the briefcase. That's what caused him to lose.
Right.
That's what, but Vicky came out too late. Came out way too late. That man, Eddie, if he was hot. Then she came out. She held on to Eddie, and Mysterio retrieved the briefcase. So,
Yeah. Botched the whole ending. She
and
botched
it
the
was
whole ending.
what's crazy is other than the Batista, this was like one. Out no disrespect to that storyline because it really wasn't finished due to him passing away. This was the last big storyline Eddie Guerrero was in before he passed. The last
Mm.
big storyline. Batista was starting to get big, but it ended prematurely. That's why I'm not gonna count that. It was the last active storyline he was in. But I'm talking about big. This was the last one, so this was very significant for Eddie. And of course, this is his last SummerSlam he was ever in because he passed away. He never been in SummerSlam again after this.
Facts. Facts. And now that match right there was followed by the Eugene Invitational. Winner gets Angle's Olympic gold medal. Kurt
Yeah,
Angle defeated this guy. Now, can you brief us on who the hell is Eugene, bro? Who is brother Eugene?
Eugene is the storyline nephew of Eric Bischoff. If you guys remember, um, Triple H and Evolution, they he had a little story. He had a big story with Triple H Evolution, and Triple H used Eugene after Triple H lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Chris Benoit at WrestleMania 20 in New York City, your town. He was using Eugene to try to use him to get the world title back if Eugene had screwed Chris Benoit, and it failed. Did not work. Chris Benoit retained his title, and when Triple H and Evolution saw it didn't work, Triple H Evolution days, he got that work. That was like the big storyline, and he was, like I said, he was the nephew of Eric Bischoff, and he was partnered with William Regal as well. And Triple H, I think Triple H and Evolution had beat up William Regal, but that's how he got noticed. And after that storyline was done, remember that was '04, a year prior. Then they just threw him in this storyline here with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle wasn't doing anything. It was silly. They weren't really doing anything. Eugene was a big Triple H fan. That's how he got with Triple H and The Rock fan. He would do the Stone Cold Stunner, the Rock Bottom, pedigree. He did all that during this match with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle just, he snapped that ankle lock on him, and he tapped Eugene out, and that's how he won the match. But anyway, that's how Eugene was known. He was really known through the Triple H Evolution storyline after Triple H lost his title at WrestleMania.
Okay, cool. Now that match was followed by Randy Orton
Oh my
defeating
goodness.
the Undertaker. Now, man, you got to. This is all you right here, man.
One of
I
my
all I do
favorite.
know is this feud. All I heard about this feud is that Randy Orton's father is dead wrong for injecting himself in this feud and not saying. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's
yeah. I actually covered this on Red Carpet Ring, the very early Red Carpet Ring, when it was really early. This feud was actually underrated. Now, this is a continuation of the feud from WrestleMania, 21 earlier this year, where Orton did lose. This was when the streak was implemented. And now Undertaker, he lost this match due to distraction of Bob Orton, and it caused Randy Orton to hit the RKO. Now they will have another match at Armageddon, and another match with Orton's dad versus Undertaker. This was a very long rivalry. It was on SmackDown brand, but this was a very, very underrated feud. And it was really, really pretty much the age of Orton that he was coming out. Very good story. I like how Undertaker let Orton get the win because Undertaker already won at Mania. But this was a very, very good feud, and it furlonged the feud. And yeah, like you said, Bob Orton was wrong, and what he referred to is Bob Orton. I think it was the Armageddon match. It wasn't this match. You're talking about Armageddon where he had blood and he had hepatitis C, which Bob Orton thought went away 30 years prior. That's how he was first diagnosed with it. And once he found out he had it, he informed Mr. Talent of Relations, the head of that, John Laurinaitis, who also knew about it. But the thing about it is they did not inform the Undertaker about this. And that's what caused Undertaker to get hot. And I don't blame him because he could have had hepatitis if that went inside his bloodstream, and he would have been with it. And it caused the release from Bob Orton, and he has not been seen in WWE since then. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
facts. Good wrap up. And that match, guys, was followed by John Cena versus Chris Jericho. And
Whew.
what was the little backstory on this match right here?
Now, Chris Jericho, this is when John Cena first got drafted to Raw in the last pick. He's fresh off SmackDown winning title of WrestleMania 21. Like I said, Chris Jericho, I think he had just turned heel. Anyway, they had a match at SummerSlam after I think this was the last. It was pretty much a last attempt of Chris Jericho trying to, win the title because, Eric Bischoff was a GM of Raw. He did not approve of John Cena being champion. He wanted Jericho to get the belt off him because John Cena would not do business the dirty way, storyline wise. And Cena hit a FU as you see here, and he retained the title. He defeated Chris Jericho. Now, the following night after this match, Chris Jericho had one more chance, and this is the You're Fired match. And if Chris Jericho would not win the WWE Championship and another opportunity against Cena, it was a You're Fired match. And of course, Cena won. And this is the way to write off Chris Jericho as he was exhausted from the WWE schedule, being on the road 300 days a year. He took time off, clear his head. We won't see him for another 2 years. And then after this, he started a storyline with Kurt Angle, who just beat Eugene. But this is a way to write off Chris Jericho. Jericho was exhausted. He was frustrated with WWE, inner stories, and all that. So they wrote him off this way. That's why he did not win the WWE Championship.
Uh, all right. Now that match was followed by the main event, and we quite went over the main event real thorough. We went over the main
Well,
event thoroughly.
well, we had this Batista versus JBL for the world title. That was right before the Hogan and HBK match.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
Right, we do have the Batista. Right, there you go, right there. The Batista versus JBL.
Yes.
Backstory.
Okay. Like John Cena was drafted to Raw from SmackDown. Well, in reverse, Batista was the very last pick. He was the world champ who also won at WrestleMania 21. He got drafted from Raw to SmackDown. Him and Cena basically switched places as world champs on either show. JBL, he became number one since they didn't know that Batista was coming to SmackDown. They had wrote in that SmackDown would get a new championship. It was called, which was dumb to me, the SmackDown World Championship. I know he did that with the women's later on. Anyway, JBL and Christian was in a last, like a little tournament. JBL had defeated Christian, and JBL thought he had won the new SmackDown World Title, and he won. He was happy, and Teddy on let me holler at you, player. Let me holler at you, player. You did win the match, player, but we don't need that SmackDown World Title no more. And JBL was talking about, well, we have a draft pick, and it's Batista, the World Heavyweight Champion. So what they did was, instead of giving him, since that title, it's not existent, instead of you winning this new title, JBL, you are now the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship against Batista, the new drafted to SmackDown. This match will be at SummerSlam for a Texas Bull Rope match. Now, thing about it is, I think they had a match prior to this. They did have a match. For people saying, "Oh, they had," I know. They did have a match prior. They had a match at the Great American Bash, which was a SmackDown branded event. Thing about it was the match ended in DQ. Of course, title cannot switch hands on DQ. So JBL got another opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. And this was a Texas Bull Rope match. And Batista defeated him. And Batista was still the World Heavyweight Champion. Just want to know. I'm sorry, no holds barred. That was the Texas Bull Rope at Great American Bash. This was a no holds barred, and Batista retained his title. So that's how JBL got put into the world title hunt.
And I kind of like JBL as the heel champion. I think he would have been he represents what $1 Million Man would have been had he won the world title. Even though the $1 Million Man is a way better technical wrestler,
Way
but
better than JBL.
yeah,
JBL was a tag team dude with the Acolytes or APA. I mean, he just had the the gimmick, and it fit him. He
yes,
kind of JBL always reminded me of a bigger, taller Miz, if you know what I mean, with the
right,
character. Him
right,
and Miz were always similar to me. It's just he
right.
was a bigger, taller version of the Miz. You got the character down, and you want the title at the right time. That's kind of how the Miz is.
One more time.
This is a wreck. He's moving like an uncaged animal.
No lie, he's wild in there.
And back to what I said too.
Yeah.
They had a Texas Bull Rope match at SmackDown. That's what ended the feud between JBL and Batista. Just want to notate that. That's how the feud ended. They had another match, and it was a Texas Bull Rope, and I don't think it was for the title. But that's how the feud ended. But yeah, JBL was always a bigger Miz.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Great info. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you're new over here. And we're going to carry on, guys, because next we went over this match already. We went over this. This is the Hogan and Shawn Michaels main event, guys. And at the end of the day, they did business. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
they showed.
Hogan can't tell Shawn Michaels how to do his business as long as he's doing the business. And one thing I get it, and this is the wrestling business is a dirty business, guys. Understand? Y'all go check that video out on how Vern Gagne and AWA fumbled the bag with Hulk Hogan, and you guys will see why Hulk Hogan is the way he is. You guys, y'all beat Hulk Hogan up. Y'all beat these stars up who paid dues and got treated how they got treated. Y'all forget Stone Cold is just as sleazy as Hulk Hogan, Triple H, all of them, because they all had to pay dues and they all had somebody older than them at one point holding them down, oppressing them. You know what I mean? Salute to
Oh,
Shawn Michaels though for understanding, and he's one of the best. He's one of the Shawn Michaels is one of the biggest politicians. This was a battle of
and
egos, KD.
you lucky this one the '90s Shawn Michaels. It would not end it this way. I guarantee you that if there was a '90s Shawn Michaels versus Hulk, this match wouldn't even happen. No way.
You was right. You was spot on.
So it was the
Spot
older
on.
Shawn Michaels. It was the older, mature Shawn Michaels. Also, I will notate what you said about the egos. The only superstar that was a world champion that was the face of WWE that never I heard politics was The Rock. He the only one I heard that did not play that game. Rock put over anybody. He put over a lot of people.
Right.
He
And the
only
Undertaker. I have
and the
never
Undertaker
heard the Undertaker not
always.
willing to put over anybody.
Yeah, those guys never politic. Now Triple H, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, even your beloved John Cena, they play politics. Even Roman played politics a few
Yes,
times.
he playing
Roman
politics
Reigns,
right now.
yeah, Roman Reigns didn't want to wrestle Bray Wyatt when he first became Universal Champion. So that's politics too. Nobody, him and Brock didn't want to work with Bray. So that's politicking right there. That's another reason why Bray Wyatt was kind of buried because the bigger guy, the bigger names didn't want to work with him. They did it because it's his dark character, supernatural character. So that's politicking too. But other
Good
than
point.
that, yeah, Rock and Undertaker, they didn't play that game. And these are guys that are former world champions. These are guys who was at the top of the mountain. They didn't play that game. They didn't play that. They worked with whoever.
And with that said, guys, we moving on to the next. To the next. On our top 5 greatest SummerSlams of all time.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making its way to the ring. From St. Louis, Missouri, weighing in at 245 pounds, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton.
Well, this superstar has all the tools needed to win this one. Now let's see if he can put them together. This is what it's all about. Two competitors going head-to-head to decide which one is truly the best.
I can taste blood that's crying. I feel tension rising. I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me. They talk to me. They tell me things that I will do. They show me things I'll do. They talk to me. They talk to me. They talk to me.
And approaching the ring, accompanied by Paul Heyman, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing 286 pounds, Brock Lesnar.
You know, sometimes a superstar just has that look in his eye. And this is one of those times. I can't wait to see what happens when the bell rings and these two finally get to go at each other.
Man. This was a good one right here, KD. This
Oh
was a good
yeah,
one.
one of the best ones in recent memory. Actually, very very monumental. SummerSlam. This was like it was a lot of fresh things that happened. Nothing recycled, something brand new, something we never seen before. Matches and feuds we never seen before. So definitely something that was different.
And I remember this year because we needed a good pay per view because it was looking crazy. In the 2016 was not a good year for
Yeah,
wrestling.
WrestleMania sucked. Yeah, WrestleMania sucked.
Yo,
Yeah, it sucked.
yo.
Yeah, everybody was
So
hurt. Well, that's the year
guys,
everybody was hurt. Everybody was hurt that year at WrestleMania.
yep. Now look,
And
guys, this year WrestleMania 2016 took place in New York, guys.
Mark Clay, Mark Clay,
Brooklyn, New York, the Barclays Center, 15,974. And the main event was Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton.
the Beast versus the Viper. Also, too, this was the first year that the brand split was reintroduced. They brought it back. We had Raw and SmackDown broken up once again. Raw and SmackDown. Now, Randy will made Randy and Brock different. They were not on the same brand. Randy Orton, SmackDown, Brock Lesnar, Raw. So it was inter promotional brand match, which I liked. You know, and these two, of course, we know from the same class, 2002. This we was brought. It's always the four. You have Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar. Now Brock Lesnar has faced off against Cena as well as Randy Orton faced off against Cena, but we never saw Brock versus Randy. And I wish we kind of wish we saw Batista versus Brock. They had the one match in OVW, the training days pre NXT. But other than that, this was the first time 1-on-1. This was a very good match. And Randy Orton hit RKO's out of nowhere. Brock, of course, he hit the F5s, did what he could do. It was a very good 1-on-1 match. And the match did not, the match ended
No,
unexpectedly. They expected
no,
to end it.
no. We're gonna run it. We're gonna run the card, and we're gonna get to
Okay,
that. We're gonna get
we'll
to
get
that
to
main
it.
event because that was key. That was key. That was key. Cause that's what made this whole SummerSlam so surprising and different and weird and awkward. But we're gonna get to that. So
Okay.
the show kicked off, guys, with American Alpha, Chad Gable, and Jason Jordan. Yes, guys, Chad Gable, he was a tag team, and it was dope in NXT, man. Oh man, them versus the new arrival, or them versus Enzo and Cass. Take my money, NXT Gold, man. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay. It was one of the kickoff. It was the kickoff shows, guys. You know what I
Yeah, it was.
mean?
And remember, this is and we got the network at this time, WWE Network. So yeah, this was all on the network. That's when they start calling it PLE like they do today. So
Right.
yeah,
We also had Sami Zayn and Neville. You know, guys,
hmm
Pac. That he's Pac now in AEW,
that
defeating.
dude is dope. He's dope. He's a dope wrestler. I like him.
Yes, that's a team right there. Sami Zayn and Neville. They defeated the Dudley Boys on the kickoff show.
Yes, they did. Yep, very good. Way to kick off the event.
And this was the pay per view. This SummerSlam kickstarted the Sheamus and Cesaro's best of seven, which Sheamus he kicked it off with a win. And this whole concept started the whole tag team that was Sheamus
hmm
and Cesaro. So
Yeah,
that was
that's
well done.
yep, very very well.
Now the next match, guys, is Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens defeating, I just spoke him up, Enzo and Kaz, guys.
Yep, yep.
And there you go, Jericho, the friend. This was the friendship joint. This was that whole friendship angle right here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were tag team partners. Yep, that was very good. That was actually that's when the whole list thing started coming about. Well, that came later, but it was right before that. But yeah, this was a good. Like I said, it was the reintroducing the brand split. They were on Raw.
That and the next match was for the women's WWE Championship, Dana Brooke is banned from ringside. Charlotte defeats Sasha Banks to win the title. So that's more of that flip flop thing that
Oh,
Sasha and
the hot potato
yeah,
title.
that's the thing her and Sasha they do for each other's ego. Like, oh, I'm gonna die if I don't have the belt. Me too. So let's just flip flop it. Okay.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm so glad they changed that title. That is the dumbest name I ever heard. No, I don't think they called the Raw Women's title. Still was a dumb name.
Now Miz, he followed up with a win over Apollo Crews. Like poor Apollo Crews, he's still looking for some victories, but the Miz he retained the Intercontinental title against Apollo Crews, and that was followed by one of the dopest matches I've seen in a while. This match, man, the house that AJ Styles built. AJ Styles versus John Cena, man. Talk to us, KD.
This is an easy. This is a good one. AJ Styles that same year Royal Rumble debuted. He had a couple matches. He was actually in WrestleMania 32. He faced off against Jericho. Him and Cena, they cut a promo. Still babyface saying, "Hey Cena, it's an honor to be here. Want to face John Cena." Then the OC came out. John Cena was standing in the middle of the ring, like AJ was going to defend Cena, and AJ clocked Cena, and then the OC, I'm sorry, the OC stepped in, the club, they jumped them. Then AJ was a heel. They had a match at Money in the Bank, but AJ won, and he had a little help from the OC. And AJ, I love how he cut the promo. He said, "Cena, I have to beat you clean. There will be no club, no nothing." He said, "When I beat you, Cena, this is the whole brand split. These two are on SmackDown." He said, "Cena, you will come. I will see you come on SmackDown Live. You will say, AJ Styles, you are better than me." He said, "If you don't, you're a liar. Either way, I win." That was a great promo by AJ, and AJ brought it. He just brought it. Anything John Cena brought to AJ brought it right back. Like he said, was no interference from the OC. And this pretty much solidified AJ as AJ can hang with the best of them. And this will put AJ into the world title picture, which he did win from John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, at Backlash that year. But AJ Styles really, he let the world know he could go. My only regret is I wish he came to WWE sooner, but we know why, due to personal reasons. So other than that, this match was fire, man. One of the best feuds. Him and AJ always work. AJ and Cena always worked well together.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I think he carried Cena. He made Cena look good in this one
He
too.
did. He did. Being a
Cena
veteran
had
that.
to pull out new moves. He had Cena pulling out
Mhm.
new moves, slingshots
Well,
off the rope.
what's so crazy is Cena is normally the one to care to quarterback the whole match, as you call it, the quarterback the whole match, and it was AJ quarterback in this match. But we know why, because AJ is he has way more experience than John Cena. They're actually the same age, but he
Hmm.
had way more experience because AJ wrestled all around the world, New Japan, TNA, all of it. But he did make Cena look like $1 million in this match.
Facts. Now that match was followed by Dean. Wait, sorry, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. This is the World's Tag Team Championships. The Bullet Club versus the New Day, Xavier Woods, and that was a disqualification. So the New Day retained their
Mhm.
titles.
These guys, I don't think they ever won the tag team belts. It's a shame they never won these belts.
Yep.
Them two, yeah, the OC never won the tag team belts.
Wait, yeah, they
Magic.
did. They won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. They had the
Oh
SmackDown
yeah,
Tag.
they didn't have it for long. I don't think they
Yeah,
had it
they,
for long.
yeah. It was a
Short.
cheap victory. Cheap victory.
And I don't think they ever held onto any more belts. It was so quick. But
Hmm.
yeah, I do remember that feud. That match wasn't long either. It was under 10 minutes. And then
Now,
you had that. Then you had the sleazeball from last SummerSlam that screwed John Cena, John Stewart. He was there. He was actually there. He was at that SummerSlam too for
Right.
15.
And look, now following that, you just said something that was important. You said everybody was hurt. And you could tell when your main event, when your co-main event for the the WWE World Championship is Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. Dean Ambrose defeats Dolph Ziggler to retain his title, though.
Yeah, this is actually one of two world title matches, and we'll get to that in a second. But this was the first world title match. Dean Ambrose cut him and Ziggler had great promo on SmackDown. Ziggler was like, Dean Ambrose, we similar, we the same. Dean Ambrose was like, no, we're not, no, we're not. He said he did a shoot on Ziggler. He said, Ziggler, all you do is complain and go to the front office about how you ain't getting pushed. He said, I don't do that. I just put in the work. He said, that's why I got this title. He said, people told me I want championship material. He said, I never cared. He said, you care what people think about you. All you care is it's your gimmick, stealing the show. But it was a great back and forth. And Ziggler was like, I'm gonna beat you. I'm going to defeat you. I don't care, Dean Ambrose. You don't have. I started out as a cheerleader for Spirit Squad. He went off that background because he was trying to say you came. And then, and Dean Ambrose was like, he was talking about Ziggler, and Ziggler checked him. Ziggler was like, "Come on, you ain't. We're not going to act like you came here in the Shield with Rollins and Reigns. We ain't going to act like you came here with two guys. Come on, Dean Ambrose. It was a good back and forth. Good back and forth."
That's fire. That's
Yeah,
fire
they
right
had a
there.
and Dean Ambrose I loved his promos. He be shooting, bro. He don't be just going story. You could tell. Even his AEW promos, it's the same way he did WWE. It's just more unfiltered than AEW, obviously, but he shooted on basically telling Dolph Ziggler, which he's known for. You're known for complaining and whining about it should have been me. That's kind of how that started. And he told Ziggler, I don't do that. I just work and I get my opportunity. So
It should
this is
have
a
been
great match.
me.
Yeah,
And
this is a
it
great
should have
match.
been me.
Yeah, it was a great match. It was a great match, and this was called the WWE World Championship, not called the. I'm so tired of WWE. They didn't change this title name so much. Why can't it just be WWE Championship forever? We done heard it's not undisputed WWE Championship, WWE Undisputed Championship, WWE World Championship, or just call it the W. This WWE Championship. But this they did that because, like I said, reintroduction of the brand split and Dean Ambrose won this at Money in the Bank, cashing in on the previous champion, Seth Rollins. Since he got drafted to SmackDown and he never lost the belt due to Rollins or Reigns, never lost the belt, that was a SmackDown branded belt. And I know you're going to get to it later. Monday Night Raw needed a new belt, which they got, and they had the inaugural match that we'll talk about in a second. This is one of the two world title matches. But I just got irritated with that name. I'm like, why they keep changing the name with this belt? It's called WWE title, man.
Right. And that's significant because when Cody said early last year that uh I want the title that my father never won, he's talking about this title right here. He's
Yeah.
talking about this title. This was the title that Rollins had. This is the title that Rollins had. This is not the title that Roman have because the title that Roman has, according at this SummerSlam, wasn't even created yet. But we're gonna get to that, like how
Yep.
KDH just said. So let's get to that. Matter of fact, the next match on the card was actually a women's match. It was Nikki Bella, Natalia, and Alexa Bliss defeating Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella.
Yeah, this was a 6 woman's tag. Yeah. We
And
got
then they unveiled the Universal Championship, guys. You see
I don't
how
even my deal is this belt officially retired? Because no one calls this belt universal no more. I ever since Roman lost the belt, I don't even hear that title no more. They keep they I think that they They literally merged it with the WWE title. This title's pretty much done.
Yeah,
Let's
because
call it what.
they rewriting history because they want Cody to get the title his dad never had, so they just gonna make it the title that his dad never had, even though the
Yeah,
title that his dad never had belongs to. It's all
yeah,
crossed out.
yeah. This belt doesn't even exist no more. And this was the beginning of the end with that title. You see the it's red because it signifies the Raw brand. Like I said, Raw need a new title since Dean Ambrose was on SmackDown, and it's the perfect color too. Not just Raw because it's blood, and it seemed like it's a cursed bloody title. That's exactly what it is. It always ends in blood, bloodshed. Like someone's hurt, someone is has to vacate it, or it's just bad. It was just a very cursed championship, and I know for what I've read that when they unveiled the belt, Brooklyn was not too pleased about this belt. They didn't like the design. They booed. They actually booed when that was not they booed that belt. It was actually booed. They was
And,
not too happy about it.
and what's crazy about it, guys? At this point, the IC title is like minute, really. Like, you know what I mean? So that whole IC curse is it's irrelevant because now it's on to this Universal title. But Finn Balor went on to defeat Seth Rollins to win the new title. We all know what happened. Finn Balor got hurt during the match and had to relinquish the title. So
Yeah, and the new champion will be crowned on Raw in a four-way match, and that will be KO as you showed earlier. He had to win a match with the help of Triple H, and they screwed Seth Rollins. Um, Well, yeah, and people don't know that was Finn Balor's first match on the main roster in a world title match. Nobody has ever done that. He had just got drafted from NXT to Raw, and the fact that was his first match on a PLE and winning the world title, that was history making. They don't talk about that enough.
big facts, big
Mhm.
facts.
And he hasn't been a world champ since then.
Man, and that'll bring us to our infamous, and I say infamous, main event. Brock Lesnar defeating Randy Orton in a shocker. And when I tell you, I
Oh my!
ain't never see SummerSlam turn off like this, like end like this. This the biggest party of the summer. They normally send home everybody happy. Man, KD,
But
break this one down, man.
okay, well, like I said, these two, they never crossed paths. They came out around the same time. Brock Lesnar, who's had a very good, respectable SummerSlam record. It's the same guy that beat The Rock at SummerSlam '02 to win his first world title. He beat Triple H a few years earlier, 2012, broke his arm, and he also took John Cena to Suplex City. But when Brock Lesnar is in the main event at SummerSlam for a world title or any match, it normally don't end too well, and Randy Orton will be no different. He immediately start attacking Randy Orton, gave him that work. Randy was getting a lot of offense from Brock. Orton came back. He hit him with a DT off the top rope, and he had with the RKO on an announce table out of nowhere. That was all good. But when Orton tried to go for a pump kick and Brock Lesnar got him for an F5, he got a near fall, and we thought it was over. Brock didn't respect to Randy. Randy kicked out. But once he missed the punt and Brock got up, I said, Brock ain't losing this match. I knew then. I said, Brock ain't losing. Brock ain't
Facts,
losing. I
man.
said, he
Facts,
missed that
boy.
punt. If he had hit the punt, Brock would have lost. I said, Brock. And this is when Brock stood in that ring. I remember like he stood in that ring, took them gloves off. He said, I'm about to give you a beating, boy. You don't want to take this arcade? You don't want to take this F5? Okay, you gonna get these hands. Literally get these hands. And he legitimately hit Randy Orton with numerous elbow strikes, and Randy Orton was bleeding, and he won TKO. I'll never forget Shane McMahon, the commissioner of SmackDown, came out. He just wanted to look at Orton, and Brock Lesnar said, "Where you think you going?" And Shane tried to look over, and he F5 Shane. He F5 Shane. And we know backstage, Chris Jericho He's friends with Randy Orton. He said, "What's going on?" And Brock Lesnar, they got face to face. Michael Hayes and Triple H and Vince broke up the situation. And Vince McMahon said the ending was planned. It was, but he wasn't supposed to legit take Randy out with the elbows. He was supposed to get him the blood. Brock Lesnar brought that. Long story short, he brought the UFC MMA into this match. He wasn't supposed to. He literally brought that into this match. What's so crazy about this whole match too that people don't talk about, and I don't hear nobody talk about this enough, with Brock Lesnar. What's so crazy about this? Not only it was a legit thing. Brock Lesnar had an issue. He had an issue at UFC. I think this is when he did an appearance with UFC around this time. People don't talk about that. He had an appearance. I think it was like his last appearance. WWE gave him permission to have a UFC appearance. I think it was the last one he had. And what's so crazy about this is, I think this was around the time that Brock Lesnar was like suspended. Remember, he was suspended. He tested positively with the MMA. It was
Yeah.
around this time. It was around this time. I think it was a couple months prior, but I know that he has some going on with the whole. He has something going on with UFC, and it was just wild because it was just it was ouch. I mean, I'm like, man, Brock has so much going on at this point, and he couldn't pretty much be welcomed back to the MMA. He couldn't be welcomed back. So it was a wild situation with Brock Lesnar. He did win. I thought Randy would have got the dub. Like I said, once the punt was missed, I said, "Oh no." I felt bad for Randy when I saw. I said, "Oh no, Randy's not winning this match. You ain't no way Brock about to get him from a punt and lose." That I didn't. There was no way. I said that ain't gonna happen, and it just was not gonna happen. I didn't see in the cards. I just didn't see that
It's
happen.
over. It's over.
Yeah, it was over, and it was over, but it was a great thing. It was just this SummerSlam. So many bad things happened. Finn got hurt. Then Randy was taken out. It was so many bad things that went down because you remember on June, WWE granted Brock Lesnar a one-off opportunity to return to MMA at the UFC 200 in July, a month before this, and they said that Brock Lesnar would be back for SummerSlam. Remember, Brock was off TV. He was doing that stuff.
Right.
And the thing about it is, they built this match 15 years in the making, but remember, July, WWE confirmed that it would take place despite of the USADA notification in regards to Lesnar fight. He was out of competition sample collected on June 28th. He was tested positive for a banned substance. And then the second sample was taken in competition for July 9th. It was also tested positive, and it was believed to be hydroxychlorophene, and it was in a sample. And guess what? LeBron Les was not reprimanded for any of this, by the way. Despite him doing that, even though the wellness policy, he was exempt from that policy because he was a part-timer. Can we talk about nepotism? If that was anybody else, they would have got reprimanded for it. But not Brock Lesnar. Just wanted to notate that. That was behind the scene. He had an ongoing thing with MMA.
Oh wow. That's good
Yeah.
info.
People
That
don't
is
know about
definitely
that.
good info.
Yeah. That might make it to the locker room. Might talk about that. That man had issues with MMA. That's why he never been back. He was tested positive twice, and within
Mhm.
a few weeks of each other. And WWE did nothing to him. He never got suspended for that ever. Now you know if that was anybody else, they would never got suspended. They would have got suspended for that.
True.
They would have got in trouble. I don't even think he got fined for it. He didn't even get a fine for it. And then you still let this man win. Even if he did get in trouble, they were like, okay, Brock, you gotta lose due to that. Not Brock Lesnar. He not only he's not suspended, you still get to win the match. He still gets to win. That was crazy. Now I want to notate one thing. That poster, if you look at that poster, if you go back to the original SummerSlam poster of everybody on the cover, If you notice in the far left behind Dean Ambrose, who is that? Isn't that Roman Reigns? Why was? Did you notice he's not on this card? He's not on this
Right.
card.
Right.
Do you know why he's not on this card? Because he was suspended for taking for marijuana use and money in the bank, which you spent for 30 days. Because that's why Seth Rollins there beat him for the WWE title before Dean Ambrose cashed in. That's why Roman's not on this card. People don't
Good
talk
point.
about that. Roman
Good
was
point.
suspended. But that's what I'm saying. Roman, way before the tribal chief day, this is the big dog, not the tribal chief head of table. This is the big dog. He want the name he is now. You see how he got suspended for that? Even though he's a full timer, but nothing happened to Brock. That's why Roman cut the pro. Be like, Brock, he gets away with everything. If that was anybody else, they get suspended. That's what I mean. Roman was not at this event because he was suspended. Roman was supposed to be at the SummerSlam, and he was not because he was suspended prior.
Good point.
That's
Great
one
point.
thing I'll say that we didn't talk about Roman. Why are you talking about Roman? He on the card. Roman was suspended at Money in the Bank. That's why he lost his title.
Great point. Great point. Guys, we're going to get to the fifth one, and then we're going to make our pick. Don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah, get
All
the
right,
likes.
guys. So, without a doubt, the fifth one, SummerSlam 2013, guys.
And Cena and Bryan, one-on-one for the WWE title in the biggest match in the career of Daniel Bryan. Cena to the cover. Looking to put Daniel Bryan away. Powers out in two. Here it comes. Five knuckle shuffle. Oh!
It's the truth that I'm loving.
Daniel Bryan has turned the tables on the champion. Cena can lose this match to his very own hold.
New change, I feel it in my veins.
Over the AA, Bryan pulls him over, hooks the leg, shoulders it down, he get him down too. Loudly, and he caught him to the side of the head. The universe loved this. Oh! Held by Bryan. Whoa! Front of the ring. He did it! Daniel Bryan did it! Daniel Bryan is WWE champion. Oh man! The fairy tale has come true. The dream of a lifetime. Daniel Bryan is WWE champion. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mr. Money in the Bank. Randy Orton. Briefcase and contract in tow. Randy Orton's about to cash in. Is Randy Orton going to ruin Bryan's moment? Oh my God! Oh my God! What's he doing? What the hell? What did this situations do? Oh my God, Randy. Bryan's out cold. Randy Orton. Randy Orton has cashed in Money in the Bank. Randy Orton is a seven-time champion.
And new WWE Champion, Randy Orton. Oh my God!
Man, this was a hell of a show. I'm not even gonna hold you. This was a hell of a show, and this was a good one. We'll just take overall on the show without going into any matches.
I think it was a great SummerSlam, great story build. This was a very the year so far for 13 was good, and it was just starting to heat up at this point. If I remember the SummerSlam, things were starting to heat up with everything. and we were starting to see some significant changes and some changes in WWE. People rising to the occasion. But other than that, we see some good stuff going on. Good stuff going on.
Facts. So, guys, this one took place in Los Angeles, California, at the Staples Center, formerly known as the Crypto Con Arena. 17,793 was in attendance, and the show kicked off with Rob Van Dam versus Dean Ambrose. And Rob Van Dam, he defeated Dean Ambrose. Want to give us a little bit of history on that match right there, Katie?
Well, it was a pre-show match, like you said. Dean Ambrose was the United States champion at the time, and this is when RVD came back. He didn't really do nothing in his return. He has a little return, and Dean Ambrose, was that's when he held the United States Championship for 350 some days, and he won the match by DQ, but he did not win the belt. This was pretty much Rob Van Dam, who won a 20-man battle royal. He last eliminated Mark Henry on an episode of Raw. He challenged for the U.S. belt, and he did not win. I don't. I think RVD did a couple more things that he just went off about his business though. But other than that, um, RVD was just there to put talent over, and he pretty much just came back to do his thing for a little bit. He didn't. I don't remember RVD ever doing anything besides putting people over. I mean, he went the same RVD as before, but it wasn't too much with that match.
Okay, cool. So then that match followed Bray Wyatt versus Kane in an Inferno match, guys. This was what, the second Inferno match in WWE history. But and I remember the first one would involve Kane with Stone Cold Steve Austin, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
ring of they call it a Ring of Fire match, which
Yeah.
is Inferno, which is Inferno. This PG era. They couldn't call it that PG era, I guess. But
Okay.
yeah, this
Bray
was
Wy-
hmm?
Bray Wyatt got a desperate win. A desperate win. He needed this win, man. Bray Wyatt, the character Bray Wyatt been played with. What you was gonna
Yeah,
say?
yeah. I was gonna say yeah. You said it right there. It was a win that he needed. Bray was starting to get built up. He had just been on the main roster for about a year at this point, but he really wasn't doing nothing significant. But getting a couple wins on his belt helped him out. And Kane, of course, had no problem putting over talent.
Facts. I know that feud with the Shield, man. That should have put him over, if anything. But
It definitely should.
right, right. You got anything you want to add to that? That feud is crazy. I know we're getting a little bit off topic right now, but this is just the build up to that feud right there.
Well, I always thought the Wyatts and the Shield always benefited, and the Wyatts didn't. It always benefited the Shield more. And I thought it should have went a little more further, and it didn't do that. Like
Right.
I said earlier that Bray Wyatt, no one wanted to work with him. If I had to guess, they probably had their feelings towards Bray Wyatt then. Maybe Roman felt his way. I know Seth didn't have a problem with him, neither did Dean Ambrose. I think Roman felt some way back then. He never really wanted to do anything. He never got to a storyline with Bray.
Could have been a fraction supremacy thing where you want your team to be more than their team, and their
Yep,
team is getting,
could be that too. Yep, could be.
man,
But
that's
yeah,
crazy.
I thought they could have did more, but that's just me.
All right. So that match was followed by, okay, look at Cody. Go ahead, Cody. Cody in the building. About the crossroads, Damian Sandow. And
That's
that
his
was Cody for the
former,
win.
yeah, his former tag team partner. Um, this is around the time that Damian Sandow had the Money in the Bank contract, I believe. I think he had the contract still. Yeah, he had the contract.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that match lasted 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm. It was quick though. I think this is Damian Sandow. This is a pre not American Nightmare. This is not the American Nightmare, Cody. But yeah, this is
Definitely
even
not.
not even a Stardust Cody. It was before the Stardust character. But yeah, I think it was the last time Cody Rhodes was pushed as a regular Cody Rhodes. He don't even wear trunks no more.
You
Yeah, yes.
All right. That match is followed by what I think was one of the underrated matches of this card. Alberto Del Rio, who defeated Christian for the World's Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, he tapped him out. Um, this is when the world heavyweight championship was becoming a joke. It was always in the middle of the card or the beginning. They did not have to close out the show. World title, and it's right before the whole merge the WWE title in the world title. This title was really a joke at this point, and Alberto Rio, I liked Alberto Rio, but he did not really lift this title to the prestige like it should have been. He never did. Either one he did. He did his best, but they always treat this title like it was nothing. But yeah, it was definitely a solid match though. Definitely a solid match.
Cool. This match, guys, was followed by Natalia and Brie Bella, which was followed by CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, which was another good match on this card right here.
Oh
He
my
gave
god.
CM Punk that work though.
CM Punk, I really thought was gonna beat Brock. This was the best versus the beast. And I love this whole thing. This is after Paul turned on CM Punk. CM Punk with the Wolverine beard. This was lit. This was a lit match. I wish they would have had a second match. Punk
Fact.
almost beat Brock. He almost beat him.
Yep, yep. David and Goliath, pure David and Goliath.
hmm He Punk should have got over. I like Brock. Punk should have got over because I'm thinking Punk already lost to Undertaker at WrestleMania. He
Right,
could have won this one. He could have won this match.
right. All right, and this match was followed by a rather important one for Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn defeated AJ and Big E Langston. Want to give us some backstory on that?
Yeah, this is when Dolph Ziggler. Remember, he was the world heavyweight champ. He cashed the contract at WrestleMania. Remember, he had a very poor title run, and I think he got tired of AJ. I think one he broke off the relationship with AJ and Big E, and he went off did his own thing. And AJ did not like that. It was a very interesting storyline. He linked up with Caitlyn, and AJ stuck with Big E. And since Dolph and Caitlyn defeated them, I think AJ broke off her partnership with Big E, and she did her whole thing, and that's how she got her Divas title run. But what's so crazy is he had history with Caitlyn. He on the early NXT days, pre Triple H, pre when it was a performance center. He was making out with her. This was a reality show days, so he already had some history with her. But this was a very entertaining match. And I will say Dolph Ziggler was never the same after he lost that World Heavyweight Championship to the guy you showed earlier, Alberto Del Rio. Never came, never ever rebounded because he beat Del Rio, cashed the title on him. Then Del Rio wins the title back, but he won it in heel. They both switched places. This when Dolph Ziggler was a baby face and Alberto was a heel. It was a double turn. People forget to talk about that.
Right. Good call out. Good call out. And this match, guys, was followed by the one of the main events, which was the whole Daniel Bryan John Cena debacle. I mean, boy, this is criminal because this is where we really started to get behind Daniel Bryan. Like it was, people were getting behind him. We always liked him, but this is when we saw the screw job, and this is when we was fed up. And we was like, enough is enough, man. This was a hell of a story. Triple H had his fingerprints all over this story right here.
Yes, not only was this a great match, this will be named Match of the Year by Pro Wrestling Illustrated. This was a match of the year. Yep. And also, this was the debut of Daniel Bryan doing his new running knee move. That was the first time he ever did that in WWE. I saw you some doing a yes lock. He never had a finisher that was not a submission move. So it was a very, very memorable match. And of course, the first time ever Daniel Bryan had won the WWE Championship. He was world champion, but not WWE champion. So, and remember, Cena nose was broke. Remember his nose, his I know he got hurt, not his nose. His Cena got legit injured in that match. He was injured for real. Remember, we
Wow.
didn't see Cena on TV for a while. I know Dan Bryan started to rival with Randy Orton. Cena was hurt in that match. He had to get surgery. Cena was hurt. He got hurt for real.
Good call out. Good call out.
A lot of good memorable stuff in this match. Um, I find it funny with Triple H. If you look back at SummerSlam 2011, Cena Punk, title versus title, Triple H was
Right.
special guest referee.
Right.
If you remember, Cena lost that match after his foot was on the rope, but Triple H so-called didn't see it, and he
Right.
lost this. So I said every time Cena's in the main event of SummerSlam for a world title match, and Triple H special guest referee, Cena always lose. I just want to know that
Right.
he always lose. But Randy Orton, this was Randy Orton becoming a heel again. Of course, the Money in the Bank winner. He cashed in with the help of Triple H. The fastest win ever for a contract cash in, 8 seconds. Pretty fast. Randy even had to hit the RKO. Think about it. Triple H did all the work for him. He's had to hold the
Mm-hmm.
leg up. Yeah.
Right. Because Brian just finished a bomb burner, and
Mhm.
man,
Yep. So it was a very good SummerSlam ending. And this was the birth of the Authority. Let's not forget that, the birth of the Authority. And Daniel Bryan was so over, man. This was the whole yes thing. The yes was born. This was Daniel Bryan. He pretty much was like a 2011 CM Punk. Summer of Punk. We had Summer Bryan.
facts. Facts. That's a fact. Man, so we have came to the conclusion, and that's all the matches right there. That's all the matches. That's all the top 5 greatest SummerSlams. Which one you picking, Turnbuckle King? Which one you
Oh,
picking as the greatest of them all?
if I had to pick one, man, I would say '05. '05 is the best, man, because you had the custody of Dominic, you had the Hogan versus Shawn Michaels Icon versus Legend, you had that match, you had the Matt Hardy and Edge, that story. It was just crazy. And what's so crazy in a Cena, you had Cena and Jericho, and of other matches, but this was just so much stuff. And then the Orton and Undertaker feud, that was great. So many matches. This was a very memorable SummerSlam. Very memorable SummerSlam.
Man, man, I can't even argue with what you're saying, but I gotta pick. I gotta go with I'm going with 91, man. I'm going with
91.
91.
That was my second.
91 star
Yeah.
studded, man. When you talk about star studded, you got Bret Hart, Perfect, Ultimate Warrior, Hogan, Macho Man. Man, listen, I gotta go with that one. It had so many storylines woven. It was just a up and down roller coaster. Watching that SummerSlam, you will really experience what WWE is supposed to make you experience. up and
Yeah,
down.
that is a great one. I like 91. I like 91. They both were up there. I just remember '05 so much better. That was around my
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
91, I just experienced that now, but '05, I remember the Hogan and HBK. I remember the politicking, and I remember all of it. And there was just so many good matches in there.
Yeah, '05 is tough to not pick, like, because of the star power too. That again, that has some star power, and it, man, just oh man, the politics behind SummerSlam, guys. But again, it's been 2 hours. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed. Keep in mind, guys, that we got 4 wrestling channels. All right, KDH, let them know you're 3 guys. This is the Figure 4 TV. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Close the show, TBK.
Okay, well, as you see on the screen, the R red carpet ring for weekly show reviews of Monday Night Raw, NXT, compare NXT and AEW on Thursday, and then SmackDown. And of course, top lists like these. I have audiobooks of these wrestlers on those. That's the main channel. Then you have Toxic Race Scandal, the stuff, the behind the scenes, the politicking, backstage fights, you name it, relationships, the relationships behind the scenes. What you don't know about the relationships, that's the Toxic Race Scandal, aka KDH. And the third one, which is a brand new channel launch, that is Pink Square Circle. That's dedicated to women's wrestling, past women's wrestling, present women's wrestling, and the future of the women's division. So if you want to check that out, Pink Square Circle, all about female wrestlers. And that's the 3 channels there.
Salute to y'all. Salute to the Toxic Ring. Salute to Red Carpet. Salute to Pink Square Circle. Much love and appreciation, man. I really enjoyed this. I'll see you back on the next pay-per-view.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, we got SummerSlam coming up in 2 weeks. Hopefully, it goes in one of these lists one day. Hopefully, it's one that makes the top 10.
Yes, guys. Honorable mention. Last year's SummerSlam, 2000 and what's that? 23 SummerSlam was
23,
good.
23.
That was a very good SummerSlam. I'm not gonna hold you. It could have definitely made this list, but it was so recent that you know what I mean, guys. But that show was good.
Yep, a non Vince McMahon ran SummerSlam. No
Hmm.
overall McMahon. But yeah, Roman and Jay did their thing, the tribal combat for the undisputed WWE Universal title, and Io Sky cashing a contract to become women's champion.
Facts. And look, that show set the tone for how WrestleMania was gonna be. We should have knew just how WrestleMania was gonna be just by that Vinceless SummerSlam.
Hmm. And also, we talk about the history of SummerSlam, where we don't talk about the recent announcement. In 2 years from now, 26, SummerSlam will be now 2 nights. It's not going to be one night no more. That's going to change the landscape of everything. We are not no longer be talking about SummerSlam being one PLE, one card. It's going to be 2 cards, just like WrestleMania. So we got what two? One more full year. 26 will be the first year of the 2 night SummerSlam. This year and next will be the last 2 years that SummerSlam will be one night. It's going to be 2 nights. That's going to change everything. And I think that SummerSlam is going to be at Minneapolis in 26. So SummerSlam, the history from '88, it's definitely been a big change until now. It's going to be 2 nights now. That's crazy. Did you ever think SummerSlam would be 2 nights? I saw the way it was going. It should be 2 nights, but I didn't think it actually happened.
That's a fact though, man. But I knew where it was going. SummerSlam is a big show, bro. It's the biggest show of the summer. So I kinda seen where it was going. But anything else you wanna add before we go on and wrap this thing on up?
No, man. I think there's not more to be said. Like I said, Appreciate being here. We covered a great SummerSlams. You guys get the likes up, subscribe, keep the notification bell on of all channels. And I'm looking forward to SummerSlam, seeing how that event's going to turn out. But this was a great list. Great list.
Facts. All right, guys. See you later.